After World War II, a massive number of military vehicles, including tanks and armored vehicles, were abandoned, destroyed, or scrapped. So-called Panzer Dumps, tank scrapyards, emerged in many locations, especially in Europe and areas where intense fighting had taken place. These were sites where wrecked tanks and military vehicles, damaged or destroyed during the war, were gathered, as well as units that were no longer needed after the conflict. In post-war Europe, vast amounts of military equipment, including tanks, were decommissioned or left behind. Many of these vehicles were in poor condition after years of intensive use, as well as war-related damage. In countries that had participated in the war, especially in Germany, France, and the territories of the Soviet Union, dumps were set up to collect these remnants. Panzer dumps were not just piles of useless wrecks. They served as an important source of metal and materials that could be recycled or repurposed to rebuild the post-war economy. In the years immediately following the war, many nations decided to quickly dismantle and recycle this equipment. Tanks and other vehicles were disassembled with parts used for various purposes, including metal scrap or for the production of new machinery. In some cases, these vehicles were repurposed as training targets on military ranges or converted into civilian machines. For soldiers and technicians working at these scrapyards, this often provided an opportunity to analyze enemy military technology or reuse parts to build new military vehicles. One of the most notable examples of a panzer dump was the tank scrapyard at El Alamein in Egypt, where many wrecks from the famous desert battle remained, including German, British and Italian vehicles. Other well-known panzer dumps were located on the Western Front, in areas like the Ardennes or Normandy, where hundreds of damaged tanks were collected after the end of hostilities. In some instances, tanks were simply abandoned where they had served, creating makeshift graveyards of vehicles. In areas that had seen heavy fighting, such as the Eastern Front, tank wrecks remained visible for many years after the war. In countries like Poland, Ukraine and Russia, abandoned and destroyed armored vehicles were a common sight, gradually scavenged by local residents or dismantled by authorities. Not all vehicles ended up being scrapped. Some tanks, especially those that symbolized wartime victories, were preserved as monuments or museum exhibits. For example, in many cities in Central and Eastern Europe, Soviet T-34 tanks are still displayed today as symbols of the victory over Nazi Germany. Tank scrapyards like panzer dumps played an important role in post-war recovery. They served as a source of not only raw materials, but also as a reminder of the harsh years of war and struggle. Tanks, once the backbone of ground forces, became valuable resources for reuse after the war, and the locations where they were collected stood as a testament to the immense costs and losses endured during the conflict.